So good morning everyone, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, PDF for today's session has already been uploaded on our Telegram group. You can download the PDF from there. It has already been uploaded. So we will be starting this session in another 1 minute. The PDF for today's session has already been uploaded. So friends, do comment if you are not getting the notifications. Dr. Priti, Yogesh, Vicky, Kaveri, Ajay, Vaibhav, Rohit, Yamandeep, Pooja, Dikshu, good morning. Good morning everyone. So sufficient number of people have already joined us. Let's see what exactly is there for us in today's newspaper. So let's start our session with the quotation or the statement made by Abraham Lincoln. He says that I am a slow walker but I never walk back. So this is the lesson that you have to learn here, that no matter what, okay, no matter what, how difficult is the situation, how difficult is the situation, still we should keep continuing our journey to evolve. Whatever you are doing in your life, okay, there will be obstacles, there will be hurdles, obstacle आएंगे, hurdle आएंगे. No matter what, how difficult is the situation, you should continue your walk, and with the small steps, with the small steps you will be able to reach to the destination. आप अपने डेस्टिनेशन तक ज़रूर पहुंचेंगे. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, अ really important lesson that we are getting from Abraham Lincoln. Sometimes what happens, destination appears to be distant, and at that time it is important that we are not demoralized. Okay, कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि मंजिल दूर नज़र आती है. So at that time it is important on our part that we should not be demoralized with the events that are happening. There are some things which are not in our control, okay, personal loss, etc, 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 but still you should continue your work, you should continue moving ahead, you should continue moving towards your destination, towards your goal. This is what Abraham Lincoln is talking about. There is no, you can say, place for walking back. That's not the scope, that's not even the option that you have to keep it for yourself. Life is a continuous journey, there are no u-turns in that. Okay, so continue your journey and try to gain as much as possible in whichever arena, in whichever field you are working. This is what Abraham Lincoln is about. And knowledge, education, it's all a continuous process. Okay, it's all continuous process. This is how it is. So let's move to the editor major section here. Let's see what this newspaper is saying to us. Okay, so here is the first news. Supreme Court upholds the power of arrest raid under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Okay, see, you need to understand whenever we talk about money laundering. Now money laundering means that you are diverting the money. Okay, diverting the money. So diverting the money that you have earned from illegal source and you are making it a legal. जो मनी आपने इलीगल सोर्स से अर्न किया है, you are making it towards legal. This is termed as money laundering. Now this money laundering is basically one of the means way out for terror funding. Okay, तो टेरर फंडिंग के लिए मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का इस्तेमाल होता है. द मनी दैट इज अर्न फ्रॉम इलीगल एक्टिविटीज, ड्रग ट्रेड एंड ऑल, वो जो है आप सिस्टम के अंदर डालते हो. ओके, ड्रग ट्रेड से पैसा कमा के सिस्टम के अंदर डालते हो. एंड हाउ इट इज डन, सो आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जांपल एज वेल. सपोज इफ द मनी इज अर्न फ्रॉम ड्रग ट्रेड, now that money can be invested in films. Okay, that money can be invested in real estate as well. वो रियल एस्टेट में भी पैसा लग सकता है, फिल्म में भी पैसा लग सकता है. वेयर अकाउंटिंग द मनी इज डिफिकल्ट, In these two sectors, accounting the money is difficult, and primarily it can be cash transfer. It can be a cash transaction. So again, it is not, you can say, easy to detect it. You will not be able to get the trail. So this is how system के अंदर पैसा डालते हैं, okay, illegal बना के, illegal money, and you want to try to make it a legal so that you can have a regular income. अब देखो, आपने real estate में money अपना डाल दिया, तो you will get a regular income out of it, okay, and it is sort of a legal money. It is sort of a legal money. So this is what this money laundering is about. Now the government has given too much power to the agencies under this Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and specifically the Enforcement Directorate. And we have seen in the past, okay, in the recent past, if you see, there are many, you can say, examples where the Enforcement Directorate has been misused, and that power that enforcement directorate exercised was primarily of, you can say, search operation, or you can say seizing the property. किसी की property जब्त कर ली, किसी का search कर दिया घर, okay, छापा मार दिया, this and that, this and that. So this is what you have to understand one thing here. Now misuse हो रहा है, we know that opposition leaders are being targeted, we know that parties from you can say political parties from opposition, they are being targeted. So this is how the whole thing is about, okay, ये पूरी चीज आपको यहाँ पे समझनी है. So here Supreme Court has said few things. Supreme Court has said, okay, like money laundering is no less heinous than terrorism. Okay, so first of all, Supreme Court is equating it with the terrorism, and we have already seen how it is linked with the terrorism as well. So they have said that these powers are required. The Supreme Court upholds the power of arrest, raid under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. They said that these powers are required, but we do understand one thing, that the unbridled power that is given to ED to carry out arrest, raid, summon, okay, all these things makes bail nearly impossible. Bail मिलना impossible हो जाता है. And in this scenario, without even the judgment, okay, judgment तो जब आएगा सब आएगा, in the process itself is, you can say, quite harassing. Process पूरी की पूरी harassing है, harassment हो जाती है. That's a major problem. Now we have seen multiple politicians who have been charged. Kirti Chitambram, okay, now Kirti Chitambram was charged under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, और उनको जेल में डाल दिया था, ठीक है ना, बेल नहीं मिल रही थी. So this is the whole scenario. The present amendment that government has come out, it is further empowering the enforcement directorate. Okay, now the Justice Khanilwar is saying that money laundering is an offense against the sovereignty and integrity of the country. It is no less heinous offense than an offense of terrorism. Okay, so this is what Supreme Court is saying, and considering it is a very, you can say, serious offense, very grave offense, the Supreme Court is saying that it should be treated as heinous and it is an attack on sovereignty. और इसीलिए जो है ये छापे मारने and all these things, it should be carried out. Okay, it should be carried out. But contrary to that, if the ED, Enforcement Directorate, is carrying out any activity, now it is going to violate the personal liberty of individual. सबकी personal liberty individual की जो है वो यहाँ पे violate हो रही है. But it is important as well. अब ये करना भी ज़रूरी है Prevention of Money Laundering Act के लिए. Okay, this is what this debate is being carried out by the Supreme Court. Finally, they have said that these powers are required. So this is what we have on this page. Other than that, there is nothing much. Now replacement level fertility achieved. Okay, so the statement has been given by the minister. She says that 31 states and UT, they reached the total fertility rate of 2.1 or less. Okay, so 2.1 is the replacement rate. हम दो हमारे दो, तो इस तरीके से अरेंजमेंट है, ये रिप्लेसमेंट रेट बोलते हैं, ठीक है ना. So now she is saying that 31 states they have achieved this particular rate. Okay, so already people are saying that in India population is stabilizing, ठीक है, population is stabilizing. Now parallel to that there is a debate. That debate says that like UP government is taking some coercive measures. Okay, यूपी गवर्नमेंट कुछ ना कुछ coercive कर रही है. Coercive in the sense they are coming out with the law, okay, that is going to ban people who have more than 2 children for from the government jobs. Okay, सरकारी नौकरी के अंदर जो आना चाहते हैं उनको 2 से ज़्यादा बच्चे वालों को बैन कर रहे हैं. दिस इज व्हाट दे आर प्लानिंग. नाउ द डिबेट इज लाइक दिस, वेदर दिस इज द कोअर्सिव मेथड दे आर यूजिंग. ओके, अब यूपी में कोअर्सिव मेथड यूज कर रहे हैं. द पॉइंट इज दिस, इज इट गोइंग टू वर्क? क्या ये काम करेगा? And I am saying that you have Kerala model in front of you, you have many other states. Okay, without coercion they have stabilized their population. बहुत से स्टेट हैं जहाँ पे पॉपुलेशन स्टेबलाइज हो गई है. वाई दिस कोअर्सिव मेथड इज बीइंग यूज्ड? दिस इज टू बी डिबेटेड एंड दिस इज व्हाट इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. यही चीज़ यहाँ पे बता रही है कि ये तो सोचने वाली बात है, सोचने वाली बात है ये. ठीक है ना, कि उन्होंने पॉपुलेशन अपनी स्टेबलाइज कर ली तो क्या यूपी नहीं कर सकता पॉपुलेशन स्टेबलाइज? दैट्स द डिबेट हियर. So Vicky is saying, should we design ED on constitution body to prevent the targeting culture? See, you need to understand everything cannot be defined as constitutional body. आपको थोड़ा बहुत पार्लियामेंटेरियंस को रेस्पॉन्सिबल बनाना पड़ेगा. ठीक है ना, हर चीज़ को कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बना के क्या फ़ायदा हो जाएगा? मतलब CA लोकपाल को भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बना दो, ED को भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बना दो. वी वॉन्ट देम दैट दे शुड वर्क अंडर द इंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. ऐसा तो हम चाहते ही हैं, हम ये थोड़ा चाहते हैं कि वो एब्सोल्युटली वो पावरफुल हो जाए. तो वी वॉन्ट देम टू हैव दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. ओके, so let's move to the next editorial, which is talking about poor state of India's fiscal federalism. Okay, so first of all you need to understand fiscal means things that are related to tax. Okay, tax, revenue and expenditure. And whenever we talk about it in the context, in the linkages of fiscal federalism, it means that we are talking about sharing of, okay, finances and expenditure responsibilities between union and state. तो हम ये बात कर रहे हैं फिस्कल फेडरलिज्म के बारे में. Now we already know that there is a 7th schedule which is there, which is having 3 lists. Okay, so you have state, union and concurrent list. Already state list is defined, and subjects that are there in that state list, state government, they have the prime responsibility of expenditure. State government जो है वो पैसा खर्च करती है उन चीज़ों पे. Okay, but expenditure is being carried out by the state government. When it comes to revenue, the problem is this: sources of revenue have been reduced significantly, specifically after the implementation of GST. अब GST आने के बाद तो states के हाथ से पावर चली गई है, वो अपने लिए पैसा अरेंज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Okay, they are struggling to arrange funds for themselves. This is what the problem is at present. ये प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं नज़र आ रही है, एंड दिस इज़ व्हाट दे आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस. ओके, यही चीज़ यहाँ पे ये डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. सो लेट्स लुक इनटू दिस एस्पेक्ट. सीधी बात करते हैं. नाउ, concerns of the founding fathers addressing socio-economic inequities are being forgotten in today's fiscal policy. Okay, poor state of India's fiscal federalism चल रहा है यहाँ पे. अब there are things that are being pointed out, that post independence there was sort of a centralization in the fiscal power. Okay, centralization starting से ही थी. We have seen it, we have seen this debate that it was necessary at that particular time, it was considered to be necessary at that particular time, that center should be strong. Okay, center should be strong. One of the reason that was given for having a strong center is that we have to promote the equitable डेवलपमेंट. ओके, कि इक्विटेबल डेवलपमेंट प्रोवाइड करेंगे. व्हाई इट वाज रिक्वायर्ड? बिकॉज यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, इफ यू लुक इनटू द मैप ऑफ इंडिया, आप इंडिया का अगर मैप देखेंगे, ओके, सो दिस मैप यू हैड इट नाउ. specifically this Deccan part. I'm talking about, say, Calcutta was also there. It was also an economic center. During the British time, Madras was also an economic center. And then here Mumbai was also, Bombay was also a economic center. So somehow economic center was missing in the northern part. यहाँ पे जो है economic center missing था. It means that south was already on the, you can say, path of development, and relatively it was more developed. Specifically the big cities that were there in the south, they were relatively more developed. They have the, you can say, economic activity going on. They were the, you can say, centers there. वो हमारे centers थे वहाँ पे, ठीक है ना, वो हमारे centers थे. Okay, so this is how the whole scenario was. अब ये पूरी चीज चल रही थी, and after independence we wanted that those areas which are lagging behind, they should also, you can say, they should also be developed in an equitable manner. अब ये चीज facilitate करने के लिए it was thought that you will require a strong union. That strong union will help out those areas which are lagging behind, जो पीछे हटे हुए हैं, जो गरीब हैं, उनकी मदद करेगा आपका strong union. Okay, this is what the idea, दिस आइडिया वॉज प्रपोज्ड. ये आइडिया एक तरीके से यहाँ पे प्रपोज किया गया था, ठीक है ना. सो दिस इज द इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. नाउ this asymmetric federalism inherent to the constitution was only accelerated. Over the time what happened, that as we were maturing, things didn't improve. पूरे के पूरे हम वापस strengthening की तरफ गए नहीं, and we kept on further strengthening the union government. And GST is another example where you centralized the taxation system, क्योंकि सारा डिसीजन जीएसटी काउंसिल ले रही है. ओके, सो स्टेट्स दे डोंट हैव अ पावर टू इम्पोज टैक्सेस, एंड इवन इन द डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन दे कैन नॉट इम्पोज टैक्सेस. ओके, सो ये बात समझनी बहुत ज़रूरी है. अब बहुत ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन हो जाए तब भी वो टैक्स इम्पोज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. इट्स अ बिट यू कैन से चैलेंजिंग थिंग. काफ़ी चैलेंजिंग है. स्टेट्स के पास ऑप्शन ही नहीं होता, क्या करें क्या ना करें. ओके, दिस सिनेरियो इज प्रिवेलिंग. This scenario is prevailing, and that's why we say that you have to do something. Now at present, like, look at the fiscal transfer system. Now earlier there used to be planning commission. पहले होती थी आपकी planning commission. Now planning commission used to look into the dispersal of funds. कोई भी scheme वीम की जो पैसे देने हैं वो dispersal planning commission देखता था, and there was a biased view. There was a biased view. So in the states which are having same political party, अब जिस स्टेट में सेम पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है उसको तो ज़्यादा पैसे मिलते थे. ओके, दिस इज हाउ दिस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन वाज कैरिड आउट. इस तरीके से डिस्क्रिमिनेशन चलता था सिस्टम के अंदर, एंड इट वाज अ सैड थिंग. इट वाज अ सैड थिंग. सो फाइनेंस कमीशन, इट वाज रिकमेंडरी इन नेचर. अब कितने भी रैशनल आर्गुमेंट दे के फाइनेंस कमीशन काम करता है. ओके, सो कितना भी आर्गुमेंट देके फाइनेंस कमीशन काम करता है, एंड इट्स जस्ट इट्स रिकमेंडेशंस आर जस्ट, यू कैन से, listened by the government, and not, they are not implementing it, but basically. Okay, this is the point. But waning of planning since 1990s and abolition in 1940s led to the finance commission became a major player. The point is this: it is still a recommendatory body. Okay, finance commission is still a recommendatory body. Government, it is up to the government whether to accept those recommendations or not. ये point समझना जरूरी है. It's primarily in their hand. So this is how the system is at present. But the thing is that finance commission became a politicized institution, and we have seen it in the recent time. देखो, एक चीज होती है term of reference. Okay, these terms of reference, they are formed by the central government. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट टर्म ऑफ रेफरेंस बनाती है, और आपका फाइनेंस कमीशन उसके बियॉन्ड नहीं जा सकता. उसके बियॉन्ड आपका फाइनेंस कमीशन नहीं जा सकता. ठीक है ना, तो ये चीज समझने वाली है. नाउ इंडिया वाज नेवर ट्रूली फेडरल. इट वाज होल्डिंग टुगेदर फेडरलिज्म इन कंट्रास्ट टू द कमिंग टुगेदर फेडरलिज्म. So it was an arrangement. Now coming together federalism means, the classic example is United States. Okay, जहाँ पे where states came together. Okay, entities, small entities, they came together. वो साथ में आ गए. So it is important to understand this point. But here in India, it was sort of an imposed thing that you will have a strong center and that center will bind this country together. सारे states को साथ में bind करके रखेगा. This was the thing that was, you can say, looked into. Now, whenever we talk about the center-state relations, there is a famous committee called Raj Malhotra Committee. It recommended for the more transfers of power to the regional governments. Okay, उन्होंने रिकमेंड भी किया था कि पावर जो है रीजनल गवर्नमेंट को ज़्यादा आपको ट्रांसफ़र करनी पड़नी है, ठीक है ना. बट अगेन इट वाज जस्ट अ रिकमेंडेशन, और वो कमेटी बनाई भी तो तमिलनाडु ने थी, तो इस मानना ना मानना इट वाज ऑल अप टू द गवर्नमेंट. ओके, this is how you need to understand. At present, what's the problem? The problem is that if you look into the capacity of the states to generate revenue, now it has reduced significantly. बहुत कम हो गया, स्टेट्स अपने रेवेन्यूज खुद नहीं मैनेज कर पा रहे. दे आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन द ग्रांट्स फ्रॉम द सेंटर. सेंटर से जो पैसा आता है, यूनियन से पैसा आता है, उनके ऊपर वो डिपेंडेंट है. एंड the money that they are getting from the center, they are going to spend that. They are just spending that money. Okay, they don't have their own arrangements, and that's a bit problematic part. So they still spend 60% of the expenditure in the country and 85% in education and 82%. Now, when it comes to spending money on different sectors, तो 60% expenditure states का हो रहा है. एजुकेशन और हेल्थ की बात करते हो तो 80% से ज़्यादा पैसा अभी भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स पैसा अपना डाल रही हैं. नाउ इन दिस सिनेरियो, इफ़ दे आर नॉट एबल टू जनरेट टैक्स रेवेन्यू, ओके, और जीएसटी आने के बाद तो देयर पावर हैज़ बीन फर्दर कर्टेल्ड, हाउ विल दे मैनेज देयर रिसोर्सेज? अपने रिसोर्सेज को कैसे मैनेज करेंगे? हाउ विल दे सस्टेन? दिस इज द फंडामेंटल क्वेश्चन दैट वी हैव टू लुक इनटू. नाउ इवन द फाइनेंस कमीशन, which recommended devolution to be increased from 32 to 42%, okay, that has been subverted by the surcharges. अब देखो बात क्या हुई, 14th फाइनेंस कमीशन, it recommended that the tax pool, जितना भी टैक्स कलेक्ट होता है, 42% should be shared with the states. okay, ठीक है, यूनियन ने इम्प्लीमेंट भी कर दिया, मोदी जी ने इसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया था. नाउ what is the problem with surcharge? Now surcharge is part of नॉन डिविजिबल पूल. ओके, सो आपके पेट्रोल के ऊपर भी सरचार्ज लगता है, एजुकेशन सेस लगता है, ठीक है ना, किसान विकास सेस लगता है, सरचार्ज. दोज सरचार्जेस आर बेसिकली पार्ट ऑफ द नॉन डिविजिबल पूल, और वो कभी भी स्टेट्स के साथ शेयर नहीं होते. दिस इज द पॉइंट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, and that's the problematic part. Means whatever money center is generating, that is not to be shared with the states. पूरा का पूरा पैसा थोड़ा ना शेयर हो रहा है, ये प्रॉब्लम है यहाँ पे. So they are not part of the divisible pool. It means that further the window for the state is going down. वो खत्म होती जा रही है, ठीक है ना. So this is how the whole scenario is. Now other problem is that center do come out with the centrally sponsored schemes. Okay, अब सेंट्रली स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम होती है. इवन इन दो सेंट्रली स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम्स, स्टेट दे हैव टू पार्टिसिपेट. अब जैसे एमजी नरेगा है ना, एंड एमजी नरेगा 40% फंडिंग हैज टू बी कैरिड आउट बाय द लुक्ड आफ्टर बाय द स्टेट. ओके, तो इस तरीके से काम चलता है, दैट दे आर ऑल्सो अ पार्टिसिपेंट इन द सेंटर सेक्टर स्कीम्स. तो सेंटर की स्कीम्स में भी आपके स्टेट पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं. ओके, एंड द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट दीज पर्टिकुलर स्कीम्स दे फॉलो वन साइज फिट ऑल अप्रोच. अब कैसा भी स्टेट हो जाए, इनकी अप्रोच सेम सी रहती है. सो वी हैव सीन इट मल्टीपल टाइम्स दैट दिस वन साइज फिट ऑल अप्रोच इज नॉट, यू कैन से, इज नॉट अ गुड वे. ओके, इट इज नॉट अ गुड वे. तो ये चीज़ समझने वाली है यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना. गुड वे इन द सेंस दैट एवरी स्टेट दे हैव देयर ओन नेचर, दे हैव देयर ओन रिक्वायरमेंट्स, और आप एक ऊपर से टॉप डाउन अप्रोच लेके एक स्कीम को इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हो. सो देयर आर गुड चांसेस है कि वो फेलियर होगा ही होगा, और ऐसा होता भी है, ठीक है ना. एंड along with that there are other developments that at present, because of the political centralization, the inequality has increased significantly. Okay, because we have centralized the political system. गरीबों की तो कोई आवाज़ सुनता ही नहीं है, पूरा सिस्टम आपका centralized है, ठीक है ना. Instead of decentralizing things, we kept on centralizing the system, and the outcome is that your income, okay, your income, like it is not being shared with all. सब लोग के पास नहीं जा रही है, और inequality increase होती जा रही है. When it comes to other aspect of taxing, अब बात यह है कि एक बात बोली जाती है, we don't tax rich in India. Okay, हम अपने rich को tax नहीं कर रहे हैं. Why I am saying this? Because there are facts. Now tax to GDP ratio in India is one of the lowest in the world. It is 17%. It is way lower than the emerging market. Emerging market में average tax to GDP ratio होता है 21%, and developed world it is 34%. Okay, but here in India it is 17%. Means the Indian government is collecting half tax that what any developed nations will get. Okay, so this is how the bad scenario is, and definitely we have to work upon these areas. So Vicky Gautam is saying, sir, should center is confined to the defense form communication or other 100%? This is the debate you have to understand. Okay, ये कह रहे हैं कि क्या सारे के सारे मतलब सेंटर शुड कन्फाइन इटसेल्फ टू द डिफेंस एंड द कम्युनिकेशन और बाकी सारे सेक्टर आप स्टेट्स के हाथ में छोड़ दो. नहीं, इन इंडिया द गवर्नेंस इज़ वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स. ओके, इंडिया के अंदर गवर्नेंस बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स है अभी आज की डेट में भी, एंड यू कैन नॉट से दैट कम्प्लीटली स्टेट शुड बी गिवन ऑल द you can say sectors to deal with, because look at the tendencies that are there. So today you have tendency of separatism in this country. Again, for that you need a strong center. चीज़ें उनको अपनी हाथ में रखनी पड़ेंगी, तो सारी चीज़ें आप उनको नहीं दे सकते हो, ठीक है ना. Still center has a major role to play. Okay, so this is what it is about. Now we'll move to the next news. So here we have this editorial talking about Biden's West Asia's, you can say, visit. Okay, so outcome of this visit, and this editorial is pointing that it was not encouraging. US गया तो था लेकिन कुछ ज़्यादा encouraging outcome नहीं हुआ है. Okay, why it is saying that? So let's look into this. Now the US president went there because of the domestic compulsion as well. अब देखो डोमेस्टिक कंपल्शन भी है थोड़ी बहुत कि भाई सऊदी अरेबिया के साथ अच्छी दोस्ती बनानी है. देन यूरोप इज ऑल्सो पुटिंग प्रेशर बिकॉज ऑफ द यूक्रेन रशिया वॉर एंड शॉर्टेज ऑफ एनर्जी सप्लाईज. अब एनर्जी सप्लाईज आ नहीं रही है वहाँ पे, तो यूएस एज अ लीडर इज ट्राइंग टू फैसिलिटेट ऑप्शंस. ओके, अलग अलग ऑप्शंस यहाँ पे यूएस जो है वो फैसिलिटेट करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. And US went there to urge the GCC nations and the Saudi to increase the oil production. Okay, कि oil production को increase करें. Now as the oil production will increase, okay, it will significantly reduce the oil prices in the international market. तो oil prices जो हैं वो कम हो जाएंगे वहाँ पे. So considering these things, they are making a move. Now whether Saudi will be convinced or they will participate in it, that's what we have to look here. Okay, so basically Biden wanted to reorient its you can say idea of relation with the Saudi Arabia, and this is how things were. They were trying to come out with some solutions to establish, say, peace in Yemen, stability in oil market. Okay, uh, how to outcompete China, how to counter Russia. These goals were tried by the Biden. Okay, कि हम ये goal achieve करेंगे. Now what's the immediate concern of Biden? Immediate concern of Biden was the behavior of Saudi Arabia and the partners. Okay, so they want that the oil production should be increased significantly so that prices can come down. Other important thing that Biden has to assure is to carry on the nuclear talk with Iran and to completely stop Iran from having a nuclear bomb. Okay, and they are working on that. They are working on that. And somehow Biden have also shown its commitment towards Israel. But reality कुछ और कह रही है. Reality says that things are different. Even the Saudis, they were not encouraging, you can say they were not encouraged by the Biden's visit. Even Israel was not convinced. So it was sort of a mixed response visit by the Biden, and it was not that promising. This is how things are turning up. ये आज की डेट की दुनिया बन रही है. Okay, things are trending at a really faster rate. Though they have introduced I2U2. I2U2 तो आया है वहाँ पे. India, Israel, US and UAE. So we are hopeful about this thing, that definitely these organizations will play some important role and establish the stability in the region. Okay, कि कहीं ना कहीं political stability आपके वेस्ट एशिया में रहेगी, because it is very critical. Already the war is going on, और उसके ऊपर एक और अगर problem create हो जाए, so it will be a headache for the whole world. Okay, this is what it was about. Other than that, there is nothing much. Okay, so you can read about it, lesson from the Burkpal acquittal. So it was regarding the, this editorial is pointing towards the investigation that we conducted. Okay, तो investigation की quality के ऊपर बात है कि बहुत ही compromised investigation होता है, बहुत ही weak investigation होता है, and that's why people are, you can say, acquitted. Now the point is this, I am saying that why only you are looking for investigation, even the framing of charges. Okay, so there are example in India where tribals randomly they were picked by the police officials and they are charged for activities which they have not committed. ऐसा होता है और भोले वाले tribals फंस भी जाते हैं, ठीक है ना? And we have seen it multiple times. So it is not just about the investigation, it is also about how you are changing, how you are framing the charges. वो भी चीजें आपको यहाँ पे देखनी है. Definitely it is very difficult to carry out investigation in Naxal affected area. Okay, so here in this particular component it is talking about why rupee is depreciating. Okay, so in 1995 rupee was 31 rupee per dollar. That was the scenario, and since then it has been going down. So if you compare with the peer group, अगर अब आप अपने आप को बाकी peer group के साथ देखो, okay, so Indian rupee has depreciated by 7.5%. 7.5% Indian rupee depreciate हुआ, but if you compare it with the other currencies, now euro minus 11.5%, pound 12.2%, okay, Polish currency it's a 14% down गया है, Japanese yen 18% down हुआ है. So this scenario is there. This scenario is there. बट देर आर करेंसीज विच हैव परफॉर्म्ड रियली वेल. बहुत से ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छा परफॉर्म किया है, इंडिया से भी अच्छा. ओके, सो दिस इज द सिनेरियो राइट नाउ गोइंग ऑन, एंड as compared to dollar, the currency value of multiple countries are going down. Okay, there are multiple reasons for that. One is this Federal Reserve, okay, it has raised the interest rate. अब जब Federal Reserve interest rate को raise करेगा, उसका फायदा क्या होता है, ठीक है, नो डाउट लोन विल बिकम कॉस्टली. यूएस के अंदर लोन कॉस्टली हो जाएगा, ठीक है ना, यूएस में लोन कॉस्टली होता है. बट पैरेलल टू दैट द रिटर्न, ओके, द रिटर्न फ्रॉम बॉन्ड मार्केट, जो आपकी बॉन्ड मार्केट का रिटर्न है, जो गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज खरीदने पे रिटर्न आता है, और ये अश्योर्ड रिटर्न है. ये assured return है, means assured in the sense there is no risk attached to it. Okay, no risk. If you are buying government security, so it will say that we will give you 8% plus return. Now it's a good deal, without any risk you are getting it. So as the Federal Reserve increases the, you can say, their rates, loan rates will increase, but parallel to that the return from the bond market will also increase, and as the return from the bond market will increase, money from India, investor, stock market investor or other financial institutions, they will take money from India and they will invest money in United States. कि भाई इंडिया के अंदर पैसा डाल के क्या करना है, यहाँ तो कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, और वो सीधा पैसा जाके यूएस में डाल देंगे. ओके, दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स, दिस इज हाउ द होल सिस्टम वर्क्स. तो ये चीज़ थोड़ी सोचने वाली है. अब ये परसिस्टेंट आउटफ्लो चल रहा है, इंडिया से पैसा बाहर जाता जा रहा है, फॉरेन पोर्टफोलियो इन्वेस्टमेंट. ओके, दे आर सेलिंग अप वट एवर दे हैव इन दिस मार्केट, इंडियन मार्केट, एंड दे आर पुटिंग अप दैट मनी इन द यूएस. दिस इज वट इज गोइंग ऑन. नाउ if they are putting up their money in US, it means that dollar is in demand. Demand for dollar will increase. Okay, डॉलर की डिमांड इंक्रीज हो रही है, एंड डिमांड फॉर रुपी इज गोइंग डाउन. रुपी की डिमांड कम होती जा रही है, बिकॉज मनी इज गोइंग आउट फ्रॉम इंडिया ना. सो दिस इज हाउ, दिस इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द रीजन that your value of rupee is falling. That's one point here. Other point is the import export gap. Now it is widening, we are importing more. हमारा इंपोर्ट जो है वो इंक्रीज हो रहा है और एक्सपोर्ट इतना ज़्यादा इंक्रीज नहीं हो रहा है. ओके, नाउ व्हेन इंपोर्ट इज increasing, it means that the payments that you have to carry out, okay, that will be in dollars. जो भी आप पेमेंट करोगे वो तो डॉलर में होने वाली है. It means that for you as well the need for dollar is increasing as compared to rupee. आपको भी डॉलर चाहिए. Okay, this is how in the overall scenario in the international market the value of dollar is appreciating and value of rupee is depreciating. क्योंकि यहाँ पे रुपी किसी को चाहिए ही नहीं और डॉलर सबको चाहिए, तो इसलिए डॉलर डॉलर का दाम ऊपर उठता जा रहा है. दैट्स द पॉइंट हियर. ओके, आप एक्सपोर्ट अच्छा की दीजिए, थिंग्स विल इम्प्रूव. सो योर इम्पोर्ट बिल इज राइजिंग, कोल इज राइजिंग, ऑयल इज राइजिंग, कितना नुकसान हो रहा है हमें. दिस इज व्हाट द होल सिनेरियो इज अबाउट. ठीक है ना, ये पूरा खेल चल रहा है. ओके, डेफिनेटली इट विल ब्रिंग सम बेनिफिट as well as there will be some loss. Okay, benefit in the sense that your export will become competitive. IT इंडस्ट्री को थोड़ा बहुत फ़ायदा होगा. Okay, IT इंडस्ट्री को फ़ायदा होगा. later on देखते हैं क्या चलता है इसमें. other than that there is nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं है. Okay, so on this page as well there is nothing much. चलिए let's move to the next part. Now center to amend the warehousing act. Okay, so here uh, basically with this amendment union will have power to allow some warehouses, okay, to not to go for registration. अभी देखो registration जो है वो compulsory हो जाएगा जितने भी warehouses हैं, but center can exempt. Okay, center can exempt something, some entities from getting themselves registered. तो ये है, and that's why this protest is going on, that how can you exempt someone, how can you exempt few players to get themselves registered. So this is how the whole scenario is. Other than that there is nothing much. Okay, so on the international page as well today we have nothing, कुछ खास यहाँ पे आया नहीं है, तो ये चलता रहता है. ठीक है ना. And on the economy page as well there is nothing much. Government initiates work on consumer spending survey. Okay, so they are coming out with data that how people are spending money. So it's a really good thing that you will get a complete insight. Okay, आपको पता लगेगा कि लोग पैसा कहाँ खर्च कर रहे हैं, what entity are in demand. Okay, कौन सी entity demand में है. And I would like to tell you this thing. So if you talk about Indian economy, okay, so Indian economy is basically supported and run by the domestic consumption. तो हमारे यहाँ पे तो domestic consumption बहुत important है आपकी economy को run करने के लिए. Okay, and this is how it is important to know what exactly uh, what product exactly is being sold in the market. Market में बिक क्या रहा है, किसकी डिमांड है, कैसे है, those things it is going to look into. So other than that there is nothing much. So that's it for the day then. Thank you very much.